Hello guys, and welcome to this tutorial. For this class we are just going to get our tools ready. These tools are what we'll be using to write the Python codes and what we are going to use to get to work. Okay, these tools are simply called IDEs, which means Integrated Development Environment. There are so many IDEs. I can begin to list a lot. We have PyCharm, PyCharm, there is PyCharm, there is VS Code, there is we have Sublime, we have Eclipse. Eclipse, I think, is just one C. We have Eclipse. We have we have um we have Turning, something like this. I'm not sure. So these are the various IDEs we have for Python. So other programming languages would have theirs. C++ has its own IDE separate. Now, for some of these IDEs, this PyCharm now can also be used to write Java codes. VS Code can be used to write any kind of program, not just any kind of language, not just Python. So for this class, for this course, I would recommend either of these three: PyCharm, VS Code, and Sublime. This particular IDE I'm using right here is the VS Code. I have PyCharm too, and I have Sublime, but I don't make use of them. So IDE is just based on preference, but I'm gonna show you how you can download each of them, and once you get them downloaded, you can begin your coding experience. So, but before that, before you begin to work around your IDEs, you have to first make sure that you have Python installed. So how do you check that you have Python installed? Either you press a WinR, that is, you hold Windows key and press the R button and type CMD. Okay, that will launch the command prompt. Either you do this or you simply go to your Windows, then look for command prompt, then search command prompt. Command prompt, you will see it here, you open it. So both of them will open the command prompt. If your Mac, I think, is called the terminal. Okay, so these are the command prompt for this is the command prompt for Windows. So first you have to check if you have Python installed. By how you check it is you type Python -v. This will give you a Python version on your system. So if your system has Python installed, you will get this Python version. It must not necessarily be 3.10.4, but once you see something like this, if you don't get any error messages and if it is not empty, then you know that you have Python installed. Another way we can check for it is by typing Python version Python version. Okay, I spelled wrongly. Python version. So that will also return the Python version that you have installed on your system. So some people might have 3.8, you can have 3.9, so it doesn't matter. But once you see anything here, it means that it is correctly installed. If you don't see anything, then you know that you need to install Python. So now, how do you install Python on your system? You go to your browser, then search for python.org. Search for python.org. Once you search for it, you will go to downloads. Once you click on your downloads, you will see this button saying download Python 3.10. Actually, it is the latest version of Python. If you scroll down, you are going to see different versions. These are all the different versions of Python. From this place, they are all different versions of Python, but I would recommend that you download the latest version. So you click on this, and the web browser is able to know what kind of system you have. So you can see the latest is Windows. If you're on Mac, you would have seen the latest for Mac. So since we're on Windows, you just click on this download button. Once you click on it, Python will start downloading, but I will cancel it because I already have Python installed. So once the process is done, all I have to do is I'll go to my downloads. I'll go to my downloads. I'll go to downloads. Then I would see the Python file here and I would simply install it. Okay, that will get Python installed on your system. Now if you did everything correctly and you come back here and type python -v, you should see this Python 3.10.4 in your command prompt. If for any reason you are not seeing this, let me know by DM, by giving me a direct message on WhatsApp. So that is the first thing you need to get done. Now the second thing you need to do is to install the IDEs. I mentioned 3 IDEs that I would recommend. Now for the first one, which is PyCharm, you simply go to, you can just search download PyCharm for Windows 10. So you can click on it. You will see the official web page. So PyCharm was made by, or is made by JetBrains. This company right here, they are the owners, they are the makers of PyCharm. And PyCharm is not particularly for Python. Not just that the name is the same, but you can use PyCharm for anything, not just Python. You can also you can also use it for HTML, JS, SQL, and all. So the first thing you need to do is when you get to this page, you will see the Windows, you will see the Mac OS and the Linux. So since we are on Windows, there you will see the professional and the community version. So we'll click on the community version because that is the one we need. The professional is paid. So once you do that, PyCharm will start downloading immediately. But you can see the file is very big, around 300 MB. So I don't really need to download it. So once the download finishes, you come back to your downloads and install it into your system. Just follow the processes. If at any point you don't get it, let me know and I will put you through on what you need to do. Then the second IDE I would recommend is the VS Code. So you just search VS Code for Windows. Okay, you will see their link, always the first one. So once I click on it, you will see Windows, Linux, and Mac. So we're on Windows. I will click on Windows, and then once you click on Windows, it will start installing. So but I don't really need to install it. So all these things are things anyone you prefer, you go for it. But particularly I myself use this VS Code because of its flexibility and its size also matters. So its size is actually very small. This is 75 MB compared to PyCharm's 300 MB. But if you prefer PyCharm, go for it. I myself prefer VS Code, so I use it. The full name for it is Visual Studio Code. So for the third IDE, which is the Sublime, so I will simply type Sublime Text for Windows. So you will get to their web page. I think they're in Sublime Text 4. So you just click on this for Windows. So you go through the download. This is for Windows. Just click on the Windows and it will start installing. You can see it's the list inside, it's around 18 MB. So just download it. I have 3 of them. I've shown you the 3 of them: VS Code, Sublime Text, and PyCharm. These are the top 3 that I would recommend. There are others, but for me, I like these top 3. If you feel you don't like any of the 3, you can always go to your web browser and search IDE for Python. It's going to give us a lot of IDEs. You can see this is PyCharm, this is the normal Python IDLE, which I would explain. This is PyCharm, this is Spider, Atom, PyDev, Tony. Okay, that thing I spelled as turning is actually Tony. There is Wing, there is Visual Studio Code. If you continue down, you will see a lot of them. So all these are Python IDEs. Okay, then you can now choose your preferred IDE. Now, once you are done with the installation and everything is working fine, for me, I'm on Visual Studio Code, so I will just simply run it. I will just say, write my very first program, print hello world. Okay, so once I run this, I will run the code. You can see I have hello world right here. I have printed here hello world. It shows me that everything is working correctly. Now for you to use this button, this run code, if you're on VS Code, click on this place, then navigate to your extension. This is the extension. There are some things you need to still install. Search for code runner. So you search for code runner. This thing is not showing installed here, or it's not showing this installed because I already have it installed. So you click on the installation and install it. When you are done with that, you search for Python. Excuse me. You search for Python. So you can see this one. There will be an install for you. Since you don't have it installed, you click on it. The second one, Python for VS Code. If you don't have it installed, you click on it. Then you come down to, there is the last one. Okay, this Python indent. So if you want to install all of them, it's okay, but these are the really important ones. This one and this one, these two right here. You get it installed on your system. So once you are done with that, you will see this run code. Once you run the code, you will see it hello world. If you don't get any errors, it means that your Python has successfully installed, and your VS Code is also working very fine. Then if you're on PyCharm, all you just need to do, if you cannot get your head around it, there are YouTube videos which you can watch, and you will see how you will run it. But actually all of them are very simple. Now you may be asking, how did I type here? So for starters, let me show you how I do structure my code. I'll just simply go to Python Tech Hub. So the way you make a file in VS Code is this. So you would simply right click, then go to new, go to text document, and then you rename your file as, say, first program.py. Install it. Once you do it, you would have a Python file, and you can now do whatever you want with it. So this is the way to run your first program on VS Code, and the same goes for all other IDEs. So you simply make a new file. You would click on your right click on new, click on text document. Now if you are doing this and you are not seeing the file extension, what you will simply do is go to view, go to options. You click on options, then go to view. Here you would see hide extensions for known files. Your own will be checked. So you need to uncheck it. Click on apply, click on OK. That way you'll be seeing your file extensions. So once you are done with that, you can now make a new file. Once you click like this, you can now say test.py. Once once you're done with it, you have a new Python file, and if you click on it, it's going to open on whatever IDE you're using. Another way to make a Python file is on VS Code, and on for all IDEs, you click on this file here, you will see new file. You will see this new file, you click on it, and then you will now specify the type of file you want to do. You cannot wait. You click on new file, you can now say test.py. Okay, I already have text.py, sorry. Okay, let me just open a folder. I would open my this tech hub. Okay, that's perfect. So I would simply open tech hub. Now you will see that I have my two files, first program and test program. So you would click on this place, this new file, and then you can make a new file. You can call it tester.py. So once you do it, you will have a new file. So these are the various ways you can create a new file. Now either you go through here, if you right click here, you make your file, and or you make the file from VS Code. If you're on PyCharm, the same process is always this. You always see a button to make a new file, and you create your file. Now if everything is properly installed and you did everything correctly, once you type something, print welcome, so this will simply display welcome on the console. Now this thing right here is what we refer to as console. Everything here is what we call the console. So whatever you're doing, if you want to see the output, you just simply print it, and then once you run your code, it will come to the console and display. So that's exactly what is happening. It will just simply come to the console here, and you will see it displayed. If you run everything successfully, your program should work smoothly, and you're not going to have any errors. Now if at all you have an error, please do let me know so that we can figure out a way to fix the error, and you would run your code seamlessly. Okay, that's it for today's video. I would stop here for now, and I would still drop more videos. Enjoy.